Let's go on to the validation worksheet. Now, I used to work in a capacity where I would send a worksheet out to 50 different sales reps, expect them to fill out a forecast, and send it back to me. It was amazing to me that I could send a worksheet out and have 50 people type the word Northeast, and it would come back to me spelled 8 different ways. There was N period, E period, capital N, capital E, N space, E space, everything. I would spend so much time just trying to get this data to all look the same so I could use it in a pivot table. If you are in a similar situation where you're sending data out to other people, you can use the data validation commands to provide the people with a drop-down. Let me show you how it works. Go to the Data tab and choose Data Validation. Initially, all 17 billion cells in the worksheet are set up to allow any value, but you're allowed to create new rules. Open the drop-down, and you can see that you can specify that it should be a whole number, a decimal, a date, time, certain text length, or in this case, we want to use a list. Now you have a couple of options. You can actually type the list right here in the source box, or you could have the list far off to the right-hand side where no one will see it. By default, Excel says it's going to ignore the blanks and offer an in-cell drop-down. That's a great feature. Watch how it works. When I click into that cell, Excel gives me a drop-down. Hopefully, the people filling out the form will be tempted to go to the drop-down and choose from the list. If they instead try and type their own thing, Excel won't let them enter the value. Now, there's a few settings within data validation that you should be aware of. Let's go back to the Data Validation tab. On the Error Alert tab, you can actually customize the error that shows up. You can encourage them to please choose from the list. There's also an Input Message tab where you can give them instructions. You can even make it sound like you're doing them a favor. Now, when they click into the cell, your tooltip pops up, and if they're still obstinate enough to try and type their own thing, you get to control the message. That's cool. One more setting that's very important here. The last thing I want to have is a sales rep saying they won't send in their forecast because my spreadsheet wouldn't let them enter valid data. Go back to Data Validation and go to the Error Alert tab. You'll notice that this is set up in a stop situation. We also have options for warning or information. If you choose warning, they'll get a message saying, hey, you typed something that's not in our list, but if you're smarter than us and you're sure that this is valid, it's a brand new region, there was just a reorg last night, and you need to get your forecast in, then click yes. Now, they'll actually have to click yes because the no button will be on by default. There's another setting, the information setting. In this case, the message will come up and say, hey, this isn't what we were expecting, and all they have to do is click OK, and it allows them to enter the other data. Let's go on to the next worksheet. Now, one of the great parts about my job is that I get to see spreadsheets from people all over the world. One fellow sent in a spreadsheet that I thought made very cool use of data validation. He didn't specify any criteria at all, but what he used was the Input Message tab. Click in cell B3 and choose Data Validation. Go to Input Message and provide instructions for the person filling out the worksheet. Click OK. Think about Excel. As you hover over items in the toolbar, a little tooltip pops up to tell you what it does. If you're creating a worksheet for someone else, why not give those people your own tooltips? As the person clicks on a cell, they get to see your tooltip with your instructions. Try it. I've set up a few other tooltips already using data validation. Rather than just the headings in column A, the tooltip tells them exactly why we need the information to help them fill out the form better. Of course, when it prints, the tooltips aren't there. All you see is the original form.